Okay. So what was the topic that you were thinking about?
God.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you like to explore about the God topic?
Well, if there is a God, which I'm agnostic, so I don't know
Okay.
if there is or not.
Yeah.
However, my uh, my belief is that, and I've got to kind of put it in,
No, we can explore
simple
this and
terms,
do that.
right?
Yeah.
Is that if there is a God,
Mm-hmm.
uh, all he or she or it cares about, if anything, about us, is that we take care of the earth and take care of our bodies
Okay.
and our social interactions.
So like well-being, like the well-being of the planet and ourselves.
Well, it all stems from. Are we being recorded? Okay.
Yeah.
It all stems from. I used to be Mormon. I grew up Mormon, and was Mormon and really drank the Kool-Aid. Until in my 20s, but I went on a mission. I did the knocking on the door thing, the whole works. Raised my children in that, but I started to question it, and it took decades to get out till I was about 45. Then I finally decided to leave. But my father, we'd go on long walks, and he wanted me to be a believer. And he'd say, well, look at the sky, look at, all the earth and all the wonderful things that there are.
Yeah.
And it had to lead to be a God.
Right.
And so that caused me to ponder, right, that, and distill that down to what I told you, a core belief. And I kind of liken it to life and people's belief in God, to waking up in the morning, going to the front door, opening the door, and there's a package there, a gift from somebody, but we don't know who. Right? We don't know who gave the gift. There's no tag on it. There's no nothing. And so you see that, and it feels like 99% of everybody says, oh, I know exactly who that's from, and in fact, I know what I need to do in return for that. I need to, fill in the blank, okay? And, but for me, I distill it down to, if it is in fact a gift, you've got, the best I can do is think in human terms, right? And that is, if you give somebody a gift and you don't put a from
Pretender cinder.
Yes, yeah. If you don't put that on it, you don't expect them to know the name.
Right.
You don't expect them to do anything except appreciate it. Okay? So if we receive gifts, those gifts are to be tended for, appreciated, right? I mean, it just, life is a gift to appreciate. The earth is a gift to appreciate. All those things that, if we feel that, they are what my father talks about as being gifts, then really the best we can do is to appreciate them and take care of them.
Right. Yeah.
And it just all really just boils down to that.
Okay, I like that. So let's say we're to put this on a scale of 1 to 100. 1, I don't believe this at all, and 100, I completely believe this. There's no doubt in my mind. For that claim that you've got there, where would you fall on that scale? Like, how sure of you are that? How convinced are you? Yeah.
70.
70. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So passing. You're that
Just passing,
passes.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough to rely on it,
Yeah.
but certainly not only to rely on it on a personal scale. But I wouldn't say that that is the truth for somebody else.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. And is there anything that you could learn that would make you like, or experience maybe that would make you more confident that that was the case?
No.
Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Well, what about less confident? Is there anything?
Well, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like 70 is like the top. I've had some experiences in life. This is as much as I can give it, but I would be willing to go lower.
I don't know that it's derived from experiences. I think it just is derived from the best logic I can come up with,
Okay.
given me, that I'm human, right?
I will take logic every time. That's
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So less would be certainly, I mean, it would take some kind of intervention from God, basically, or spiritual experience that beyond that.
So like God telling you that his wish wasn't for you to take care of the world. So you'd believe
Yeah.
in God, but not
or
believe
that I had to know more like a name. I mean, people are so
Okay.
focused on
Okay.
a name.
Oh, like a
who-
specific.
who God is, right? Right, and what God expects, right? Because I see it's how you it comes down to me how you live, and if I would need to change my behavior. In order to change my behavior, I would have to have something something indicate that a name or behavior beyond what I've already said is important.
And how would like that, like what type of experience, how would you know that it was reliable?
Well, okay, so when I left the Mormon Church, my prayer was to say, God, if you care about me, then I've been trying for decades, okay, to do it this way, okay, and it's not really working for me, okay. So it has to be in a way that speaks to me, and if God is omnipotent,
Uh-huh.
then I figure there will be a way. Okay, so I
Yeah, that makes
gotta
sense. Yeah.
divorce myself from the thought of me coming to God necessarily, but God has to come to me. That sounds very selfish and very oh, God has to do this, right? But it's the only solution I can think of.
Right. Yeah, because there's those omnis, and if they don't meet up to the omnis, like there could be maybe a God who wasn't omniscient and wouldn't be willing to speak to you, but then you couldn't become more confident because of that. Like
Yeah, it's
there's
because
no,
of me.
way.
Yeah, I just don't have. I'm working with very few tools.
With what you've got.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right, I love that. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't? Or to explore this a little more?
I guess I can share kind of a little baby step that I took towards this was, I think in allegories, right? Analogies
Yeah.
get rough between the two.
Yeah.
But I'm much into gardening,
Uh-huh.
and I wondered, given kind of the state of the world,
Yeah.
right, how we could, how good could God could be the thing
Mhm.
that many
Right.
professing to be.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's generic.
Yeah.
Um, and the best I could come up with is, uh, as an analogy, is kind of the way that I garden. Sometimes is just
Yeah.
I find a plant and I'll put it in. I'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Mhm.
But I tell you, it doesn't kill me
Yeah.
if it dies or another plant overtakes it. If
Yeah.
another plant is more aggressive.
What if God just did not have a green thumb? What if that was the case? Could we just have a God with not a green thumb?
Yeah. I mean, maybe
I guess not all powerful then, right? So,
Well, that's that's part of the issue, right? I mean, there are many religions that gods have weaknesses, right?
right, or they've stepped back. They've kind of cast the dice and let them go.
Yeah.
Things fall where they may. Kind of
Yeah. And they have not only they're not omnipotent, they have serious weaknesses.
thing. Right.
Yeah.
Much more human, right?
Yeah.
Almost human inspired, perhaps.
Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
I guess that's, in the end, that's why I had troubles coming up with something, because the older I get, the less I know.
Is there anything, I don't know if you're listening in, that you think I should ask?
Have you replaced your, call it, Mormon faith with anything else, do you think?
With anything else?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a faith, but I've replaced the community
Yeah. It's a miracle.
and a way. That is an excellent question, because I have, in the last 2 years, I've become involved with Unitarian Universalism.
Familiar, yeah.
Okay, which is for the audience, yeah, extremely broad religion. Not so it's more about the honest search for individual truth and helping each other be in that path, whatever that path is. And so it's community that way, because I dearly, Mormonism is can be all encompassing, and it can also be very assuring in some ways, in the sense that you have a purpose that is completely known, where if you go rogue,
Yeah.
you go, oh my, I don't know what I'm to do, or the community is missed, right? And also to be challenged ethically, right? I found for many years, I mean, it was many years between leaving Mormonism and finding Unitarian Universalism, is that I wasn't challenged ethically, and I could get lazy, right? And just like, whatever, okay? No, I mean, I had my own ethics, but I was never challenged on my ethics.
So you feel like you question things a little bit more now, and you have the ability to explore those things.
I have those ability to, I mean, fantastic. I mean, I live in the Portland, Oregon area, okay? And I've only lived there for a year, but I grew up there. And I'm like, if I'm going to live in an experimental place, it's going to be
That's
Portland,
fair.
Oregon.
That's to do
Okay.
it.
Okay, because experimental is the name of the game, right?
Right.
And so I've been experimenting.
Yeah.
you know, and it's absolutely wonderful
Yeah.
because I'm not at all where I thought I could be, because not to diminish um, a lot of very closely held beliefs within Mormonism, but you hear a lot of times that, um, like, I'm glad I'm in this church because if I were to ever drink, which is something they don't do, um, I would probably be an alcoholic, right? Well, I've been able to test that, right? And I'm very close to a teetotaler. But I will drink. I can drink. I have no qualms with it, but it just doesn't do anything for me, right? So, I, it's pretty darn far from that. Yeah, but it's my choice. It's not somebody else's.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. So.
What's the best question to ask current Mormons or members of the LDS Church
Yeah.
that you love
Yeah.
that would cause them to reflect on the reasons why they're in
Mm-hmm.
that community?
Believing what they do.
Yeah. It's in the weeds. I think probably I pass on that question because, I mean, I have 4 children, 3 have left, 1 has stayed in. She, at this point, has all my grandchildren. My father has passed. My mother is still here, and she's a believer. And I just don't have. It just didn't work for me, and I've got to respect where they're at. And I always have, and always did. As I started to not believe, I never had any pretenses about that, out of respect for them, as I would for any religion.
I'm glad you found a
Yeah.
community that works for you.
Yeah.
You know, there's a Unitarian Universalist church in Denton, right?
What?
There's a Unitarian Universalist church in Denton.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, there is one over there. I haven't been, but I know there is one over here because when I first came to the area, I located it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, talk about broad. Yeah, extremely broad.
well, I was gonna say, like, I've been to some of them, and I've seen some of the, like, a lot of times they'll do like presentations. I know you said you do the ADA stuff, so they do presentations on kind of like community outreach stuff or like educational stuff, and it's kind of interesting. It's definitely more community oriented, which is
Yeah.
nice, I think.
I mean, it's really nice that anything can be a subject of spiritual growth, right? It can be poetry or humanism or it's endless.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Is that where you're?
Yeah, I'm from San Antonio.
Oh, okay. I spent a summer there. Yeah,
hot?
but that was back in, oh wow, it was 1988 or 89.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot down there, and I like it here a little because it's a little cooler, but I love the cooler weather, so I'm kind of like go a little farther north. It's too much for me here.
And we'll see if I come here or not.
Yeah, I hope that works out for you. We've lived in Denton for like 10 years.
I'm sitting in a good place.
Yeah.
I can decide. I mean, it's my decision.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it
Yeah.
is complicated.